So in this video, we're going to talk specifically about dealing with competition with other men, especially when they're trying to be more alpha than you, when you're out meeting women, talking to women, or on a date. This is another user or viewer question, and let's dive in. Now, I've had this happen many times throughout the years, and especially when I was first learning it would happen. Guys love to go steal women from other guys and love to push guys' boundaries, test other men. I think sometimes some of these guys, some of the more asshole-ish guys, love to do that more than they really want to get the girl. It's about this kind of sense of power that they want to have over other men. And personally, I like to respect men. If a man's there talking to a woman, you're having a great connection, you're having a great time, I don't want to ruin that. I might even be the one to try to help you to build it up and maintain that space for you, even if I don't know you, because I think it's cool. I love to see people connect. So if you run into a guy like this, let's talk about some specific things you can do to deal with him, because it really comes down to several things: your level of groundedness, how confident you feel about yourself, and the way you handle him. The first thing you don't want to do is try to compete with him. If you try to compete with him, then you're gonna have a real problem. An example of this is this one time I was talking to a girl in a bar. We were having a great conversation. I walked up, everything started flowing. She was smiling, I was smiling, and this guy walks over. He's a big guy, he's a lot bigger than me. He's covered in tats, he looks kind of rough. And he walks over and kind of stands in our circle, and she smiles at him. So I feel like she knows him, she's met him before. So I turn to him and I say, "Hey bud, how you doing?" I go to shake his hand. And he looks at me, smiles, puts his hand up, and then turns it and flips me off. And I could feel the tension as he's staring down at me. So at that point, I had several options, right? I could start to argue back with him. I could flip him back off and say, "Oh, you want to be a fucking asshole? Fuck you." So this could easily turn into a cock measuring contest where I'm trying to be more confident than the other guy, or trying to be more alpha than the other guy. And I promise you that's going to end poorly. Either you two are going to end up getting in each other's face. Maybe you'll reach a point where you two become buddies. Maybe you'll end up fighting. Or the girl, but most likely the girl is going to be like two guys that can't, that are just trying to be too confident. They're being arrogant. They're really which actually shows insecurity, and she's going to end up walking away. So the next thing you could do is you could shrink away. You could just quit. You could give up. But that's pointless. I mean, that's not going to get you anywhere. So I'm going to tell you what I did in this situation, which is a little different, and then I'm going to give you another option that's probably a little easier than what I did. Because what I did requires a certain level of groundedness and connectivity. And it's actually the easiest option once you get grounded enough. And it just kind of came out of me at the time. I looked at him, he flipped me off like that. I smiled back, I stayed relaxed in my body because it didn't bother me at all. I was like, whatever. And the old me though would have freaked out, been all insecure and nervous, this big guy's threatening me. But that version of me just smiled at him, looked at him and said, "Oh, obviously you don't want to talk." And then I turned my energy away from him, looked at her and smiled. And said, "So how you doing?" And we started chatting some more, and she connected right up to me, and he was outside our bubble. She enjoyed the confidence. And it was a little dickheadish what I did, but what I literally did was more energetic than physical. I literally just looked at him, kind of relaxed my connection, felt him there, turned away. And I wasn't trying to be mean, I was just trying to, I made her more important than him because he didn't want to talk. That was the obvious solution. I said, "Okay, whatever, if you don't want to talk." And that's what I did. Now, with a tonal shift, I could have made that bad. I could have said, "Obviously you don't want to talk, fuck you," with my energy, not saying fuck you, with my energy, and then turn towards her with that fuck you energy, and it wouldn't have connected to her because she would have felt I was still pissed. Because I turned towards her and saw her beauty instantly, and that made that more important than this guy's attitude. That made her connect to me, and it felt really good. So that was the first thing. That's really good. That's when you can really feel the flow of energies back and forth. Now, what I used to do before that is I used to play with basically yes and sets from and it's a great thing to do. It's from improv. It's this ability to diffuse tension really fast that's not going in the right direction. So tension that's starting to build up, tension and resistance. So this guy flips me off. I could have been like, "Yeah, hey, that was cool, man. You know, you're obviously very confident. Anyways, it's nice meeting you." And then I could have turned towards her very easily. And I acknowledged his ballsiness. I acknowledged who he was. I didn't get mad, and then I turned towards her. In that way, I'm not fighting with him. I would have taken his power away because I didn't fight with what he did. I acknowledged it, called it out, and surrendered to it. It basically did the same thing I did with almost no words. But first I acknowledged him, moved it forward, and turned towards her. It takes all the power out of his interaction. and then continued on. Yes and can be used for a lot of things. It can be used for, let me give you another example. It can be used for also when a woman makes fun of you or somebody teases you. If somebody looked at me and said, wow, that's a funny vest. What are you, a weird vest guy? I said, yeah, I wear a lot of weird vests, man. You should see my collection at home. I have tons of them. And then that would diffuse that energy. It takes the power away from him trying to make fun of me because it didn't bother me. And that's really ultimately what you're working on. You're using a verbal tool to do something that's energetic. But what I really want you to focus on is the energetic principle here. If somebody said to me, this vest looks really funny, are you funny vest guy? And I just looked at him and said, yeah, I'm funny vest guy. That's all I really have to say. I'm funny vest guy, I like vests. Man, I have a whole collection. Anyways, what's your name? And then I change the subject and move forward. It takes all the power out of what he said and kind of diffuses the situation. You could do this to women too, when they tease you, when they test you, the same thing. And the way to get good at this is just practice it. Sit down with friends, learn to calm down, relax in your body, have them give you a little gruff, have them say things to you, and you just yes and it. You take it in, yeah, I'm probably the weirdest guy in the bar. Somebody walks over and says you're weird, yeah, I'm probably the weirdest guy in the bar. Anyways, what's your name? Yeah, you have a really bald head, bald guys are weird. Yeah, I'm probably the most bald guy in the bar. Matter of fact, I started balding at a really young age, it kind of sucks. Anyways, what's your name? Where are you from? Do you see the energy here? I'm just taking the power out of what they're doing. So if you sit down with a friend, look them in the eyes, learn to stay relaxed and just do this back and forth to where you can go back and forth really easily. Maybe one of you does it 10 times and the other one does it 10 times. You're gonna start to develop this ability not to fight with people, not to be better than people, but to, in a sense, just relax and not make things mean so much. And that's how you kind of diffuse the power of alpha males that are coming at you. Or, in this case, women potentially that are testing you really hard. And once you get good at it, you're gonna find that it's extremely easy. So I'd love to hear what you think of this video. Make sure you comment below and let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to learn more of. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, because we're coming out with 2 videos a week, and I really want to help you guys get the information you want. Check out our live events. Click the link below and you'll see that we have a lot of live events where I can answer your questions personally and look at where you're at. Because if I can ask you some questions and get to know you, it makes it much easier for me to give you custom feedback that really fits who you are. And with all that said, remember, only the confident really live. See you in the next video. What is a pipe or hose? It's a conduit, right? Okay, and the conduit represents what? Tension. Tension, you need the tension in the conduit to channel the water, the electricity, whatever you're, see what I mean? Study problems, get deep into breaking them down. And there's a fundamental flaw in that. In theory, that works. If I break down the problem enough, I'll find a solution. But that's not really how life works. You see, we're transmitting emotion all the time. We're transmitting feeling all the time. Dogs, when they